What's up, y'all? It's John Joffrey with Revent Builds, and we are back here at the $1 Million Pool. In the last video, I showed y'all exactly what went in to making this massive monster. I want to address a lot of the comments and concerns and hopefully answer them and give y'all some clarity of the full scope of this project. Stick around for the end of this video. I'm going to talk about the full scope of this entire project, including our renovation and addition on the main house behind me. One of the most popular questions that we got is why in the hell would we build a 5-foot deep pool 40 feet out of the ground? And the answer is very simple: to capture that view. Many people were saying, oh, why don't you just build it on the ground level with some stairs or an elevator? And really, another main reason is because my clients just didn't want to do that. And honestly, the client gets what the client wants. But let me just explain this. When you have a view like that of downtown, and you're up and elevated on a multi-story home on a cliff, having your pool at the main level is just a crazy baller move. Obviously, it costs $1 million, so no one else is gonna really do it, right? So now, when you're looking at reselling this home, this is a massive feature. Just think about the convenience of hanging out in your kitchen while you're entertaining when we're remodeling this with massive glass doors that open 30 feet wide, and there's people hanging out right in your pool just out the window. Instead of going all the way down there, you're not in the view, and also it's just a hassle getting up and down. So really, there's multiple reasons why we put it at this level, but if nothing else, it's because that's exactly how the client wanted it. Okay, a bunch of other comments. That's a kiddie pool. $1 million for this tiny pool. And it's like, on one hand, yes, it is only 5 feet deep. But look at the spa behind me. That sits 14 people. The top coping of this pool is 40 feet long by 30 feet wide. That is a huge pool, even if it's on the ground. Now, look at how giant our catch basin is. This pool is gonna hold anywhere from 16 to 20,000 gallons of water. That is not a small pool. It's just not very deep. But let me also explain this. There's multiple different styles of pool and swimming. If you're a scuba diver and you want a 40-foot deep pool, that's awesome. Our clients are big travelers. They love resorts. Anytime you go to a hotel, the pool is not very deep. And that is because it is for lounging, it is for chilling, it's for drinking. My clients love to entertain, they love to party, and they just want to hang out. They want to sit down, they want to lounge, they want to relax. They don't want to have to go scuba diving every time they go in their pool. And again, if it was my pool, I'd probably go quite a bit deeper. But the client gets what the client wants, and there is a purpose for everything. Something else that I wanted to address is when I talked about the pounds of concrete in this massive structure behind me, I said 200,000 pounds. When I talked about the fill dirt, I said 180,000. I need to apologize. We write these scripts 15 minutes while we're in between a crazy busy construction schedule. I missed some decimal points. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, okay? But this is 2 million pounds. This is 500 yards of concrete and about 450 to 500 yards of fill dirt. Now, when you convert a yard into pounds, it's anywhere from about 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. So this structure, 2 million pounds, it will help you understand just the cost of the concrete alone. So many people are like, oh, the concrete costs 20,000 bucks. I'm like, dude, I really wish it cost that, because it cost me a hell of a lot more. I promise you that. Now let's just talk about costs in general. First off, Victor and his crew. These guys are artisans. They're not just some migrant workers. We didn't get them from a Home Depot parking lot. We do not do slave wages around here. The labor costs on this baby are monumental. There's been lots of people saying, oh, I'm ripping off the client, and man, builder did that for 100 grand. And literally, that's just not the case, guys. Like, inflation has been massive. Doing a massive project like this has been a learning curve for me. This is the biggest concrete project we've done to date. If I were to do it again, I would ideally be charging vastly more than I did. But obviously, my client is very happy. It's a win for both of us, and I'm super happy that this is in my portfolio. Okay, why did we build up a dirt ramp up to the top of our retaining walls and use excavators to get the fill dirt in instead of a conveyor belt system? First off, renting that conveyor belt is not cheap. Second off, they're really hard to come by, so the lead times on getting one was it took me maybe 2 or 3 weeks. If I had looked at it sooner, I might have considered it more, but I wasn't about to put the project on hold for weeks to get that. Ultimately, it was the best decision that we could make at the time to get the job done in the fastest amount of time. Now, piggybacking on that, why in the world did we use fill dirt instead of steel? The answer is easy. I got with the structural engineer and value engineered about $100,000 of steel versus the fill dirt. It was cheaper to go with fill dirt. Now, if we were going to do a garage under this structure, as many of you were baffled that we didn't, or some type of room, then the steel would have been the way to go. But here's the thing, if you look up at this house, that garage is the lowest level of the house. So we'd be building something under the lowest level of the house that you could not access from the main house easily. Another huge factor is if this would have been a garage, which would have been cool, that could have been an option. But this is all a septic field. We cannot block the septic field. We cannot put a driveway over it. So that's just completely out of the picture. We also got a lot of comments. Why would you cover up the windows? Well, first off, those are side windows that are up high in a garage. They're meant to get some natural light into the space, but we are fully renovating this home. It is gonna have massive sets of new glass garage doors. So covering up those windows at the garage was not that big of a trade-off in the scheme of things. It seems like a lot of people were also commenting, oh, that looks terrible, it's awful, the architect needs to get fired. Well, let me show you all of these renderings on how all of this is gonna tie together. So first off, we have the pool as you've seen it, but what you're looking at is raw concrete. We're cladding the bottom of that whole structure in stone. The catch basin itself is gonna be in stucco. There's gonna be tile all over that negative edge and going into that catch basin. We're gonna have plaster, we're gonna have tile decking. That tile is gonna continue around the coping of the pool. But what I haven't shown you yet is how this all ties together. As you can see, there is a massive covered patio that we're gonna be building off of the main house. So there is gonna be a huge deck that you're walking right off your living room into an outdoor kitchen and great seating for the side of the pool. We are also doing 3,000 square feet of additions to this home. The first addition being a 2-story addition to the left of the pool. The master bath will be up top and an awesome secondary master will be below, which is gonna be like an advanced guest suite. Then just to the right of that is the game room. On the opposite side of the house, we're expanding another garage bay, so we'll have a true 4-car garage. We're expanding the existing house off the whole side, which is gonna be almost 2,000 square feet in additions by itself. And then of course, looking at the exterior of this home, we are modernizing all of it. So all of that old beige stone that you see, we're gonna either do a mortar slurry or some type of stucco or maybe a lime wash paint. We're gonna modern that all up. We're getting all new window and door systems, floor to ceiling, 12 feet tall. One of them being a 30-foot wide panoramic slider that's gonna bypass each other. So this house is going to be fully decked out. And to really just hammer it home, when we're done with it, it's gonna be a 7,000 square foot home valued at over $7 million. So just from hiring us, our clients are getting $1 million+ in equity, and that is always a huge win for the client. And when the client wins, we win as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really put a ton of effort into all of these videos, and I appreciate y'all so much blowing this video up, commenting. As you can see, I love to interact with y'all. A lot of the negative comments and the trolling Sometimes I'm laughing. Why am I yelling? I have a very loud voice. I yell all the time. That's all good. But I love when you guys comment, especially with real questions, and I will do my best to answer all the comments that I can, give y'all suggestions. If there's ever any help or any advice, how do I get started? Where do I go for this or that? I love to help out with stuff like that. Thank y'all for following along. I love each and every one of you. We'll see you on the next video.